All right, we are trying this again. I'm hoping that this is working here on YouTube. Hopefully the color is correct. I guess we're gonna find out in here in just a second. On YouTube. All right, looks like the color's fixed. All right, we are good to go. All right, welcome back, you bags of cheese, you literal wheels of literal cheese. I'm gonna start over from the beginning. YouTube, Facebook people, the -4 people that watch me on Twitch. Thanks for being here. I hope don't say I never did anything for you, but I'm here. I'm cranking bags. I'm punching one in your brown eye. The world is garbage. Everything's on fire. All right, back to the originally scheduled programming before I forget. Tonight's episode is brought to you by BobbySauce.com. This is the Building 7 Didn't Collapse Itself t-shirt. If you want the people around you to hate you or love you, go to BobbySauce.com and grab a shirt. It's great. There's a lot of good stuff there. So whatever. The shipping is free over 50 clams. The world is trash. Inflation's everything. So 50 clams, I assume you make that in 1 hour. Everything's garbage. The world's trash. Joe's not living currently. I just got a notification from Twitch. They're like, Twitch is dead. You can't stream on Twitch. All right, Twitch, I didn't watch you anyways. Thanks for coming. Yo, all right, back to what I was gonna yell about. Yo, the world's trying to keep me down, bro. Listen, I have a couple of topics. Basically, what I wanted to get into and what I just wanted to like lightly massage around the light brown ring, like around your balloon knot, so that you just like loosen up, so I can just like blast like the juice, like the Fouch juice directly into your lower intestines. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So just like, you know what I mean? Grab your ankles, because bing bong. Anyways, I hate everything. Yo, oh God. Yeah, I don't know. Any of you guys like watching television and shit, and you're just like, wow, these people are like literal savage, it's like demons. I don't understand. It's so bad. The more that you pay attention to what's actually going on in the world, the more you're just like, all right, like these people are like soulless. They're like soulless creatures from the underworld. And I swear, the more stuff that I see, the more I believe that every single bad upside down thing that I ever heard or ever thought could have like potentially maybe been true, like in some secret universe. I'm just like, it's probably true. Like, how come Jones is right about literally all things? Everything's so messed up. I can't even wrap my head around how bad it is. And then you have like people like you have people like Joey. I'll take this one from Anomaly. Credit Anomaly. He calls him Slosif Biden. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Crank that one into your brown eye. But Slosif Cream of Wheat and his depends. This guy is like, oh, unity, like, let me bounce you on your knee. Like, I just got into fisticuffs with Corn Pop behind the town square or whatever. Like let me bounce you on your knee while I sniff the back of your neck and shove a Werther's Original into your throat. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's a demon. His kid's like what's occurring there? Like, literally what's occurring there? This guy's supposedly running the free world. This guy's the grandpa, bounce me on your knee, like then my grandpa said, Joey, go do this slogan. His grandpa never said that shit. His grandpa never said it. His grandma never said it. And then Mima in Scranton was like, Joey. And then Mima in Scranton was like, Joey, you let Kamala run the country. It's like, Kamala wasn't even alive. You know what I mean? Like, he says shit. I swear this guy's like a bot. I don't know if you ever watched Futurama. He's like a thing, like there's a little alien inside, like with the joysticks. You know what I mean? It's like, no, Joe. Who's believing this? Like, who's watching Joe and they're just like, oh yeah, sick. It's like, this guy's not currently residing on this planet. He's like, and then Mima made one of her famous chicken pot pies, and she was like, Joey, have the carrots first, and then you got to spread the faith, keep the faith. And then Grandpa was like, Scranton, don't look down your nose at me, Joey. No, they didn't say that. No, they did not. None of those things occurred. And he's just like, oh, he's like, I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping and frickin' and Muhammad Ali and Beyonce. And Muhammad Ali said to Beyonce, and then Xi Jinping, then we went bowling at the foothills of the Himalaya in 1941. It's like, no, you didn't. You didn't do that. He's like, and then I rode. He's like, and then I got on the train, and some guy that was dead for 10 years before this story, actually, that was dead 10 years before this story was allegedly happened. And then he was like, hey, Joey, why don't you ever ride the Amtrak? Amtrak. Those things didn't occur. And then they call the fucking press conference on Monday, and then Circle Backy, Big Red is like, oh, she's like, that's not what he meant. It's like, then what did he mean? Like, what did he mean then, Jen? And now we got Corinne Abdul-Jabbar, whatever, it doesn't even matter. Now we got this new lady, and she's like, she's like, I am in all the boxes of oppression. You must listen to me. And then Anomaly came out with this supercut of her today where she was just like, everything is, it's like, these people are sick in the head. And now what's even like a gallon of proposterone is now Circle Backy, who could barely formulate a fucking sentence on her own, is now going to have a TV show on MSNBC to make 7-figure. Like, what? Who's tuning in? Who's tuning in to the Jen Psaki hour? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, oh, sick, Big Red Zone at 7. It's like, who's watching that? If you were a person that like literally dislikes just living on Earth and you watch the press room briefings like I've been doing for the last year, you're just like, this lady is the literal worst person at doing literal the thing that she's supposed to be doing. I thought Circle Backy was like 27 because she was so it's like she just graduated like a public speaking class at Naugatuck Valley Community College in Waterbury, Connecticut. It's just like, what did you just say? She's like, you're terrible at this. Stop saying just pause, you clown. Like, pause, you literal clam. Oh my God. Like, if Circle Backy was a dish, she would be like a rotting clams casino that was left in like a Holiday Inn refrigerator from like the last time that somebody came into that room. You know what I mean? It was from like a week ago. You're like, oh, it's a clams casino. Oh, let's make it the press secretary. You suck. Anyways. Okay. Like, Jen was bad at literally the only. It's like, oh, your job is to like make sense of the garbled gobbledygook that comes out of that the cream of wheat that comes out of Joe's breathing hole. And they're just like, Jen. She's like, could you imagine being the husband of Psaki? Oh my God. Like, let's put it in like Amber Heard the turds terms, you know? Like, Psaki would literally leave like a foot-long hot brown on like the kitchen floor. And her husband would be like, hey, Jen, did you dump on the ground? And she would just be like, you know, like, I visited a lot of communities but, you know, it's all about equality. And my predecessor, Donald J. It's like, what? Just like, did you dump on the kitchen floor, Jen? And she's just like, if I was to dump on the kitchen floor, it would be for the betterment of the family. Also, it was the dog. It's like, we don't have a dog, Jen. I don't know. I just hate, dude, these people are the worst. But yeah, these are our betters. And now we've got Kareem, whatever, it doesn't even matter. Kareem off a mountain is what her career's about to do, but whatever. And this is the new person that's supposedly in charge of making sense of the gobbledygook that comes out of the cream of wheat that blobs out of Joe's face. Like, great. I can't wait for that. Cool. Like, who is hiring these people? Like, what's the credential for hiring over at the White House right now? They're just like, well, we noticed that you're not white. We are you? I swear they're doing the interview. They're like, do you happen to be gay? They're just like, yes. They're like, excellent. Like, what criteria is going on over there? I swear that's the sign up. That's the sign up when you sign up to get a job at the White House. Are you from a marginalized group? If anybody says anything bad or about how terrible you are at your job, do we have any easy defense? You're a phobe. You're a phobe. It's like I'm like nervous saying anything about her. Her name's Kareen or whatever. And I was just like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Can you even, I don't even know. It's like, can I say a joke that has your name sounding like another name? Is it, they're going to be like, Jabbar, Abdul. They're like, what? It's just like, is this the new Hussein Obama? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, I don't even know what I can even say. And that's what they want. They want you to not be able to say anything, you know? Even with Circlebacky, it's like her name was so stupid and her words were just crispity, crackly, crunchity garbage vomit. So it was easy to make fun of her because you're just like, lots of laughs. This woman's terrible. And literally the only... Did you know that Circlebacky is like 47 years old? This lady talked like she was 24. I'm like, how do you have this job? This is like the apex of her career. She's like, She's like, they're like, where was Joe today? She's like, in her mind, she's just like, don't tell him he had the runs, you know? She's like, the president's very busy. It's like she always has these excuses. And it's just like she gets a cell phone call while she's on the podium, and her husband's like, Jen, did you shit on the kitchen floor? She's like, I didn't not shit on the kitchen floor. It's like, so you did. Well, I didn't say that. I am a historic hire. I am the first 5'3", fair-skinned, red-haired woman, person of red hair. I'm the first person of paste. I'm the first pasty color. Shut up with the firsts. Congratulations, guys. Cool. It's like they always want to they want to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. They want a pat on the back. They're like, first ever senator to pretend to be an Indian. Elizabeth Warren. It's like, you're a demon. Retire, Liz. Retire, lying Liz. Oh my God. And then Chuck Schumer walks into the scene. This like demon lurch. He's like, then they pretend like they're trying to unite the country, and they're the most divisive psychopaths that ever existed in the history of time. They're so divisive. They're just like, everything is Supreme Taco from Taco Bell. Taco Bell? Did you say Taco Bell? Or are you misappropriating? They're like, it should be Subway. It's just like, I hate you. Like, you're an actual literal demon. You're the Montauk Monster in human form. Like, I don't remember asking for the Montauk Monster to be the fucking press secretary. They're just like, Jen Garbage Sacchi can't do anything. She's like, oh, I'm brought to tears. Shut up, Jen, and retire. Leave. Go to MSNBC. So her and Joy Reid and all these clams can just yell about all this shit that they make up in their head. These people are literally possessed demons, and all they care about is money and power and authority and shaming every other person. These people are savage. Oh my God. It's so disturbing. It's like, how do you sleep at night, Jen? Like, her husband has to hate his wife. Oh my God, her poor kids. They're like, her kids are like, may I sleep over at Jimmy's house? And she's like, well, is Jimmy trans? You know, it's like, because if he's not, I'm sorry, you can't go. It's just like, they're like, she's like, what? She's like, what boxes does he check before I send you over there? Oh my God, is he transitioning? It's like, oh God, the kid's just like, No, we met on the playground, you know? She's like, but do they take blockers? It's like, no, mom, no. Like, literally, no. I should have worn my literally no shirt. Oh, oh. These people are the worst among us. And then, all right, moving on. Next topic. Someone in the comments, is Jimmy a first? Is Jimmy the first Native American boy to live on our block? Is Jimmy a they and or a them and or a hippopotamus? It's like, I don't know. He looks like a boy. She's like, what do you mean he? What do you mean boy? Define boy. If the Supreme Court can't define boy, how, you know, what? Oh my God, these people are sick in the head. Sick in the literal head. Literally sick in the literal head, but whatever. All right, next topic. Look, if you've watched the fall of the basketball, I don't know, I can't say it on here, but it's a documentary, whatever. Figure it out. Do whatever you want. Literally figure it out for yourself. And don't DM me. Where did you talk? Ask someone in the comments. Someone else will comment in it. If you've watched those videos, they talk a lot about dollar bill fences. The squishy dweeb weirdo demon person that just like happens, that like makes his own, like produces his own breast milk. It makes me so sad that this stuff is so obvious and right out in the open, and people are just like, this is totally fine. It's just like, yo, it's like, hello. Do you know who Dollar Bill Fence's family was? Do you know where his dad worked? Do you know that? Look it up. It's free. Give it a gigow. And then people are like, gigow, I don't care. Just look it up. You fucking, what's it called? DuckDuckGo is like, Crane, Zelensky, like these, no one's good anymore. Everybody sucks. Everything is shit. Go on Brave Browser or go on Duck Clams or go on fucking Ask Jeeves for all I fucking care. Just Google it or look it up. Look up Dollar Bill Fences. Look up his fucking dad. Look up where his dad worked when he was the director of. Great. Number one. Number two, if there ever was a monopoly, of monopolies, look at Dollar Bill. Look at the company that Dollar Bill started. One of the biggest companies in the world. All right, great. What the fuck does computer software have to do with health? Why are we listening to an ancient dweeb with poor social delivery skills that has every imaginable tick that clues you into the fact that he's being deceptive? Like a basic sleuth, like Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes, if he was drunk, would be like, this squish bag is lying. This dude is literally out in plain sight, just like, here's a book called How to Lie with Statistics. I'm a squishy, lumpy weirdo with man blobs, and I make fake milk. And also, we happen to be out of milk. Oh, we're all out of food, and I own all the farms. It's like this literal dweeb person, this literal demon, squishy, fat titty dweeb. I don't know. I'm gonna get flagged for that comment. But I don't know. This chest feeding person, this chest feeder, has no medical background, has no medical affiliation by any stretch of the imagination, just funds all of these organizations, many of which have done outrageously terrible things that are widely documented across all of the interwebs. All you gotta do is go look it up. Look at all the things that he's done, juicing the whole world, juicing like innocent kids in fucking Kenya that are like, I'm good, you squishback. Like, get away from me, you chest feeding creep. And he's like, he's like, malaria. It's just like, what Why? And then this guy's at all the big meetings. He's in all of the big things. He's everywhere. He's on CNN. He's talking to Anderson Cooper. He's talking to Don Lime. He's talking to Fredo Cuomo. He's talking to all of them. He's talking to Joy Reid. He's talking to fucking Trevor Noah, the most unfunny person ever to exist on the literal planet. And he's like, Tucker's like, so Bill, are you doing this thing? And Bill's like, no. And it's like, no, but he literally is doing literally that. They hide like in plain sight. And he makes some like stupid ass joke that was written by a team of 57 people for $1 million budget. They produce one trash 30-minute show. I'm out here just like like skateboarding around the block with 0 writers, and I write shit funnier than their entire show. They got a team of 27 people, bunch of comedy writers. They're all getting paid full-time salaries. I'm just like sitting here on my couch like, wow, squishy chest-feeding fake milk titty weirdo. And it's like 100 times funnier, but whatever though. This guy's got like a studio. I'm like in my office yelling. My dog's over it. He's in the other room. Like he's farting. He doesn't even care. Like this mic was like $50. I'm listening to Nora and Pure on SoundCloud that I pay $7 a month for. And like, that's the show. You know, I don't even have any lights. There's just lights in the roof. One of these lights is so bright that I put paper over it to like calm it down a little bit. That's why I wear a hat sometimes, because my forehead gets shiny because I'm like sweating as I'm screaming into this microphone. And then somebody will like invariably jump into the chat on Instagram. And they're like, the mic doesn't even work. And it's like, the mic's connected to Facebook and YouTube. You demon! Meanwhile, they're just like a bot. They're just like some bot from fucking Iran or something that's getting paid at like -3 cents an hour to just be like, Hillary Clinton is the best, you know? And somehow people just think that these things are just not occurring when they just most definitely are, but whatever. So you got Dollar Bill, who's milking himself and creating mystery milk. He's making meat in a lab. He looks like he was made in a meat lab. He's like the most unhealthy looking person ever. And then you have someone like Joey Roggs, who just like also is rich and actually is cool and relatable and not just like a total complete upside down dweeb with like a demonic family history or whatever. And everyone's like, horse goo, don't listen to Joe. And it's like, oh, you're gonna listen to Don Lime and Squishy Dollar Bill, who like can't even prevent a virus from like a digital program, yet he's going to prevent the viruses of the entire planet, but whatever. Meanwhile, he's just like in Kenya, just like totally clapping all these innocent people that are just trying to like eat coconuts and spear like a goat and just like live their life. And he's in there, he's like, malaria. And like, if you only pay attention 10% beneath the surface, you're like, that's so good. It's like this guy said that he was going to give all of his wealth away upon his death. He signed some credo. Here's my credo. I'm going to give all my money away. Give it away then, Bill. You know what I mean? It's like this guy's full of it. Meanwhile, he's just like he's in his $10 million San Diego bachelor pad, just milking himself, just like Anderson Cooper. Can't wait to get on with Trevor Noah, the funniest among us. He's like, you will eat crickets and you will love it. No, demon. It's like, imagine if, like, it's like, I don't understand how people don't take into consideration. This guy doesn't look like he's done a bench press in his entire literal human life. It's like, lift a weight, Bill. He looks like... He looks like a bag of sand, you know? He looks like a bag of sand masquerading as a human person. It's like if you filled up like a 5'9" sandbag and somebody was like, try to make this look like a person. Dollar Bill. Literal sandbag person. Literal bag of sand. Like he's like like rumor has it in New Orleans 5 years ago when they were worried about the flood, they were like, hey, Bill, would you mind laying on the ground in front of my business? Boom! Off the dome. Right off the back of his head. Eat this fake meat and crickets. I'll lay in front of the door and protect your barbershop. Okay. And then this literal sandbag dweeb is like, they're just like, so they're like, were you ever friends with Jeffrey Poopstain? And he's like, no, I never. And there's like 5,000 records of him flying on the Lolita, fighting on the Lolita. You're telling me Dollar Bill has bagged one? You're telling me Dollar Bill has bagged like a literal, actual human female ever in the last 50 years? Never, not once. And Melinda was like, I can't even deal with this sandbag guy. You just divorce this literal sandbag after all these years, like a quadrillion dollars, and she's like, I'm out. She's like, what did you do on that Lolita? I don't know. Like, this guy is a demon. I don't know, man. Somebody on Facebook says, your rant is clearly a purge for your anger. Gonna keep on your vids. Wow. You do know the whole point of live is not be your purge. Wow. I agree, but wow, man. Hope this loaded from family life to release. You're struggling. First of all, if you're going to try to dog me in the comments, put an apostrophe in your. Literally do your correct. Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. How old do people have to get? Like, literally, how old must a person be before they realize that your, Y-O-U-R-E, apostrophe, there's an apostrophe, put it in there. They're like, you're an idiot. It's like, you're not spelling that correct. Oh my God, I love that. Wow, man, the whole purpose of live is to not be your purge. What the hell are you talking about? You just press the button. Nobody was like, this is what lives are for. It doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want. I can do literally whatever I literally want. So hit the X because I don't care, John. Whatever, though. I love that. People are like, I will insult you with poor grammar. He's just like, you must have a loaded family life. No, I'm good.
I'm literally good.
I think you are, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, venting your own problems. Anyways, he's like standing up for Dollar Bill. He's like, no, I would have had malaria if it weren't for Bill. Anyways. So yeah. So back to the topic. So yeah, so it's just we got Bill, a non-health, and he's at all the health meetings. He's got all the stuff. He's helping make all the policies. He's financing all the studies. He's financing all the schools. He's financing all the people that finance all the people that put in power. All I have to say is I wish more people would just take the most basic look at the world and follow the money. I don't understand how obvious this is. It's so simple and obvious. Which leads me to my next topic, which is housing. Before I go further, I want to thank the people that have bought the badges. I really do appreciate that on Instagram. Thank you, Jen Lisa 80. Thank you, the official McMoose. Thank you, Britt Seawolf, and thank you, Lana Liberty, for the badges here on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for that. If you're not following me on Instagram, hit this arrow. Give me a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow. If you feel so inclined, here's all of my ways that you can give back. BobbySauce.com. If you feel so inclined, shoot me a Venmo, buy a badge, support the channel, or just don't. It doesn't even matter. I appreciate you being here, and thank you for being part of the content. At the very least, follow me, pay the fee, as Andy Frisella would say, share the content, and that is all that I ask. All right. So this leads me back to all right, now we got bots in the chat. Oh my God. People are like SXX me. What the people are the worst. All right, goodbye. You're blocked. All right, that account's blocked. All right, anyways, back to the topic. It's so obvious. Thank you, Jenna Rose, for the badge. Appreciate that. Thank you, Kath, for the badge. Appreciate that so much. Where I think is the most obvious example. Oh my God, there's more bots. Hold on. Let me just get rid of this bot. God, I hate this. Thank you, Empath. Raise your vibe. Appreciate that. Thank you, Shani Loves Vivian. Thank you guys for the badges. Appreciate it. John is still on Facebook. Bad live stream. John, just leave. Just literally click the X and leave. No one cares. You could just leave, but we don't. Literally nobody cares. Just leave. It's totally fine. Hit the X. Appreciate you. Godspeed. I think there's Jersey Shore on demand that you could tune in if you want. Anyways. All right. So where I find what I believe to be the most obvious example of how these literal, basically demons are trying to take away the wealth. Take all the obvious things. It's like, how would one go about dismantling a nation? You know all the obvious things that I've been talking about for all this time, but I want to specifically target in on 4 things: housing, cars, health, and guns. So let's specifically talk about housing. A house, whether it's a condo or a single family dwelling or something, is arguably the most dynamic wealth building instrument that any human person could ever buy. A young person between the ages of, let's just say young, between the ages of 25 and let's say 35, typically in history would purchase a single family dwelling or a condo in which they could live. And then the money that they would be theoretically squandering to rent and whatever else, the profit that the landlord would ultimately make, that money is now going in to pay down the note that they have on their property, and thus building equity. So the money that they spend, that they put into the residence, they will ultimately get back less the interest. That's how people develop wealth. Over time, traditionally, most real estate, unless you buy it in a pretty bad area, if you stay in it for a long period of time, like between 5 to 10 years, typically a property will appreciate in value by at the very least 3, maybe 7 or something, maybe 10% over the course of that time. Thank you, Cherie, for the Venmo. Appreciate that. So owning a home not only prevents you losing cash out the door in paying rent, but it allows you to build equity in that property. And then the value of the equity, which is the value of the home that you borrowed for, is going up. So you put down, let's say $30,000, your house is $200K. The house, the 200 is going up to 5%, not the 30. So you're only in 30, which you're going to get back when you sell it. Plus, you're in less the interest on each of those payments. So every single time you make a payment as you live, you're building up your cash. You're building up your value. In addition to that, it builds your credit. Credit allows you to spend less money on things like personal loans. It makes you more likely to get business loans. It makes you more likely to get things like loans for other things like improving your home, where you're not putting a lot of cash out, but you're getting a lot of return from it. In addition to all that, as you build equity in a home, you can eventually take out a home equity loan, which is a very low interest loan that you can take against the money that you have built up in the house. So you could put $30,000 down on a $200,000 house. The house could go up from $200,000 to $250,000. Meanwhile, you paid off X amount, and then you can borrow back 70 to 80% of the money that's in that house and then go and spend it on other things. You could spend it on improving the house. You could spend it on buying a new car, or you could get a low interest loan that you could use for any variety of things, like quitting your job and getting a different job and covering that delta. You could buy stocks. You could invest in other businesses. You could buy gold. You could buy watches. You could buy precious metals. You could do any number of things with that money. You could probably buy another property and then rent that property out. You could create cash flow and create value for yourself with this home as the primary instrument that allows you to elevate your financial life. So everybody has been able to do that. And for the past however many years, the interest rates have been so low. And for the longest time before my time, from 1990 to 2005 or so, you could get a loan if you had a pulse. You could walk in, you could get a loan, and they would give it to you straight away. It didn't matter whether or not you'd be able to pay it off or whatever. But if you were smart enough, you did a little bit of research, you had somebody that helped you or guided you, like a family member or whatever, or a friend or a person that understood finance, you would get a fixed rate loan, and that's the end of it. If you look at the inflation over time, these interest rates are so low that you're basically just paying the cost of inflation, which means it's kind of like a free loan at the end of the day. Plus, as the market grows, as the economy grows, as the amount of people that are interested in homes, as more people immigrate here, as everything tends to grow, your house tends to go up in value unless you bought it in a bad spot. Now, in 2008, all of the losses by the big companies that got into all of these mortgage securities, these mortgage-backed securities, this was by design, intentionally done by the big financial corporations, the big finance companies that knew exactly what they were doing. These are smart people. These people literally deal in finances every day, all the time. They knew exactly what they were doing, creating all of these bad loans, packaging them, reselling them. They knew exactly what they were doing. And if you were on the inside, it was basically this massive wealth transfer where they basically just robbed everybody blind in plain sight. All the people that were in their mid-20s or in their mid-30s between 2005 and 2012, it was really difficult for you to buy a house. But now, fast forward to where we're at right now. We've had these ridiculously low interest rates, and then all of a sudden, all these large corporations, which have been borrowing money for basically nothing, are now scooping up all these houses. The houses are going through the roof in price. They're having to raise the interest rate because they printed all this money, printed us into oblivion, and inflated the value of the money away. So the amount of money that you have, that you earn, doesn't buy as much. So you're spending more on all of your daily expenses. You're spending more on your car, on food, on gas, on eggs, on milk, on travel, on plane tickets, everything. So the distance that your dollar is stretching is low. The workforce participation rate is lower, and people have to compete for all these jobs which are being lost. All the small business owners that were creating the wealth for themselves, they all got clapped. Maybe they didn't have a house, but instead they had a business, so they all get clapped. Then meanwhile, all of these loans are being made to all these too big to fail corporations that are just scooping up all the properties to make this perpetual renting economy where nobody can compete. And they're scooping up all the prices, all the houses for pennies on the dollar. And they're being gassed with a bunch of free money. And they're basically buying the primary financial instrument out from underneath everybody in their 20s and 30s. So that if you didn't already have a house before 24 months ago, the probability of you being able to afford a reasonable house in a place that you want to live is almost gone. And then if you didn't get lucky enough to do that, they're increasing the rent at such a clip that it basically prices you out of the market. And then they made all of these rules about you're not able to kick somebody out because that's supreme. It's supreme to kick somebody out that's not paying rent. So they make all these rules and this moratorium, which this bullshit that they created to basically bankrupt all the existing homeowners that were small homeowners, and then make the rent so high when it came back online that it would be basically impossible for everybody to afford it. They're like literally gutting everybody through this instrument of a home. It's preposterous. It's like it is the most obvious and blatant wealth transfer robbery that's happening right now other than inflation. It's like they're creating a market force to intentionally count you out of being able to benefit from the upside of this house, because no other investment, with the exception of the stock market that I at least know of, can you borrow on equity in an investment. If you buy stocks, you can get a loan against your stock holdings and you can take that out. You can get leverage based on a stock portfolio, and you can do that on a house. But there's not very many other things that you can do that on. So it's at least not that are universally available to your everyday average person. So they're just extracting all the value from everybody at once. Then, by using something like gas and fuel production and just saying, all right, we're not going to produce the fuel. You don't allow new places to drill for oil. You restrict the oil supply. All the oil goes up. All the gas goes up, which means the wood goes up. The house prices go up. All of the goods go up. All of the inflation now gets doubled down, tripled down simply because of the fuel. Because everybody needs fuel to get everything. Everything comes from fuel, no matter how you slice it. Everything. And then you bring in something like cars. And it's like, okay, parts for cars are all delayed and more expensive because of the gas. The employees that install the car parts, fix the cars, well, they're harder to come by because the college and the training for those positions are really high. The amount of money that you have to pay them makes the price to repair the car so expensive. So you create this public transit, bicycle lane, bird scooter economy so that people can't have a car, the instrument of freedom. You get them to start transferring to an electric car that they can turn off whenever they want. They can't turn off a gas car. Certainly not remotely. So they know that all the chips that make up all of those cars are produced in specific countries. So they just figure out a way to ruin the country that's got those chips being produced by reducing the amount of resources that are made available to them so that they can make those chips, making it longer for them to get shipped here. As a result, you want to buy a new car right now? You're in trouble. Meanwhile, they're demonizing you for trying to buy a new car, and then they're blaming it on the environment. The environment. Meanwhile, the cost to produce, the environmental cost of producing a brand new car is far more than just driving an existing car. Not to mention all the actual fossil fuels that are getting burned to produce and discover all the minerals and materials necessary to build a battery. Then where are you going to dispose of all those batteries? Then you have to produce all of the electricity, which there's all these strains on the electrical grid. It's like they're systematically trying to destroy literally all things. Yo, John is on Facebook still trying to come at me in the comments. John, I don't care. So I'll just remove you from the chat. Very simple. Goodbye. And he's gone. Don't care. Don't have time for it. So anyways. Now, if they've got the housing locked up, if they've got the ability for you to move yourself and the cars, all of that locked up, well, what's next? Well, they have the health. They have the health and the stuff in the sense that they're going to make you take a certain thing or take a procedure in order to hold your job or whatever, to move around. And as soon as there is any flavor of that coming back, that's the first thing that they're going to do. And everybody's so clueless and muzzled up and diapered up. They've been breathing microplastics into their lungs for the last 2 years. They're going to be like, yeah, where do you want us to go, Joe? They got cream of wheat in their brain. They're lacking available brain wrinkles, and they're just completely toe-asted, absolutely clueless. So they're already lined up. My body, Joe's chore. Like, they're all drones. Everybody's an NPC, complete space cadet. So they got your health in the bag, no problem. They'll restrict you from getting a procedure or whatever else. Then on top of it, when you think about the food in America and the FDA and how they regulate all the medicines and all of the red tape that goes in, only certain producers of certain pharmaceuticals are allowed to pass and others are not. They do a great job at regulating some things, but not others. All this dumpster garbage food is in here. Everybody's eating poison every day, all day. Every mainstream food producer, every fast food restaurant, which there is one on every corner, but you can't get a banana on every corner. Isn't it interesting that you can buy trash food anywhere, everywhere, all the time, but you can't buy even the slightest thing that's even remotely healthy at any place at any time? It's like every gas station, every 7-Eleven, and the education is not there for people to even know, what's good and what's not good. And they're certainly not going to teach you that in school. And of course, they start you at a young age. If you ever went to elementary school, middle school, what did you drink in school? Because I'm old enough to remember what I had in school. A fucking chocolate milk, a slice of absolute dog shit, floury garbage pizza. The vegetables were from a can and they were disgusting, soft. It'd be like broccoli. And it'd be soft and gray and disgusting. You never eat it. They'd be like vegetable medley. It'd be like a mystery vegetable that you've never even seen in your life. And then like something that was painted orange to look like a carrot and like one pea and then like a cockroach. And you're like, is it Taco Tuesday? Like the only thing that you could actually eat that would actually taste decent would be mac and cheese, pizza, bagels, cookies, chocolate milk, soda, Powerade. In the vending machines, Powerade, soda, sugary drinks, Arizona iced tea, 99 cents. When they did give you a salad, it would be the size of this cap, and it would be loaded with oil or vinegar, and it would be way over dressing. It was disgusting. I remember what we used to eat in the morning, cheese bagels. It would be 2 pieces of American garbage cheese on a garbagey bagel. It's like they're like you're set up to fail. Fries. Thank you, Jamie, for the Venmo. Appreciate it. Like greasy, disgusting fries. A mysterious burger that looks like one of those Jimmy Dean patties that you get out of the fucking microwave. They like trained you to eat trash from the start. I remember when I was in high school, I was part of a business club called the Future Business Leaders of America. And one day we were allowed to sell Krispy Kreme donuts in the lunchroom all day. It was our business class, like our business project. We had, I kid you not, 50 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts in the school. We sold these Krispy Kreme donuts like they were crack. And we charged double what we paid for them. One of the teachers brought them in, this big carload of them, and we ran out by lunch. And we sold these sugary poison discs in the school. They didn't try to sell anything that was good. It didn't even try to be good. And like that's what they let us sell. My health class in high school was, I think, the fattest woman I had ever seen. Her health class. And then we had another class in my high school called School to Career, also taught by that same person. Literally the fattest person I've ever seen at that time in my life. Thank you, Thomas, for the YouTube super chat. Appreciate it. And these are the people that teach us. I remember the School to Career class we had. They just let us sit on computers and you like fill out some survey about what your career should be. There was never any plan for anything other than go to college and get taught how to be an employee. And it's like, here's like the fattest, like worst, here's like the fattest woman ever teaching you health. And then that same woman is like, she's like, wah, 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 wah. Like when we had all these computers in the class where she taught it, and you could hear it would take her 43 minutes to get from the front of the class to the back of the class. All the kids that knew computers sat in the back like me. We played video games the whole day. And then she'd be like, "What are you guys doing back now?" And she'd wah, 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 wah. And she'd come back, and we would just like alt tab out of the game, and just. And then when she did catch us, she'd be like, "Hey, Mrs. Roly Poly, like, is it all right if, sorry, we just like make a joke." And it's just like, we're getting taught school to career, how to go to a career from a person that like objectively has a bad career. You know what I mean? She's teaching the most insignificant course in the room and is the most unhealthy looking person there is. And then she's got a room in this particular course. It was the most populous course of any course of the day. My history class didn't have 45 people and it had 30. Yeah, there's 45 people in school to career, and the slowest physically moving person. And she had no control over the classroom. The grades didn't even matter. It was like, she's like, "Take this quiz." It took 7 minutes to take the quiz. The period was 45 minutes long. We were playing Counter-Strike. We were playing video games. We were like playing shoot 'em up video games. And this is the school. And this was a blue ribbon school. I went to a blue ribbon middle school. Who would even know? First of all, who's giving the ribbon? Second of all, who gives a shit that it's blue? Why is it a blue? Did I get that good of an education there? I guess. But whatever. So that's all fine. Meanwhile, all the classes that would have actually been practical to learn, like people don't even understand. It's like physical education, gym class, objectively, honestly, I think should be in like the top tier of importance in terms of classes that you learn in school. You're going to tell me that chemistry is more important for an average student to learn than their fucking physical body? Like, let's just, you know how many times I've had to calculate, how much hydrogen and oxygen is in a fucking molecule? Never. I need to know how many bones. I need to know the classifications of hippopotamus, Homo sapien, fucking whatever. This is a mammal. This is a mammal. Mammal. It's a mammal. Oh, no, it's not a mammal. It's a lizard. It has cold blood. I don't care. It's like, but everybody needs to know about their literal body, about their literal health. But instead, they're quizzing me on what kind of femur bone is in a fucking giraffe. They're like, did you memorize this like a little? I love that meme. One of my favorite memes of all time is there's a guy. It would be like, the meme was like stupid ass elementary school teachers. And it was like a guy like that leaning over, and it was like, he's like, you got to learn math because you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket. And it's like, we literally have a calculator in our pocket 24/7, 365. Do you have a literal calculator? I got a calculator, a flashlight. I got a fucking map of the stars. I got a map of every single star, street, fucking planet. I can look at Sri Lanka. I can look at Sri Lanka on a live feed from 24/7 from the top of a mountain at any point in my whole life, anywhere. I could be in the woods. And I could tell you the Prince of Persia's middle name in 1601 in -1 second. But I don't know how to properly do like a pull-up. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how many pull-ups I should be able to do. I don't know anything about my fucking heart rate. You know what I mean? A heart rate. Like, every single person has a heart rate. They could have trained us. You're supposed to be in this heart rate. Buy a heart rate monitor. No, they're just like, do sit-ups. Stretch to this fucking thing. They're like, let's play dodgeball. It's so stupid and backwards. I hate everything. And then your gym teacher was like some goob. I'll never forget when I was in high school, my gym teacher thought he was so cool. He thought, I forget his name, Kubis. Mr. Kubis. He thought he was so sick. And he was like the cool guy around school. Kubis. And all the girls liked him because he had a baby face. He looked like he was 16, but he was 34. Kubis. And I'll never forget, we went on a field trip to Washington, D.C. And in Washington, D.C., I bought a pack of candy cigarettes, like the candy ones, like the literal, I put a candy in my mouth and I was like, I'm Humphrey Bogart or something like that. I don't even know what I said. It doesn't even matter. I was like, I'm the guy from Green Day. I'm Moody. Something like that. Something stupid. And I'm like, I never forget. I spent $4 on these candy cigarettes. I never smoked a cigarette. Mind you, I'm 35 years old right now. I smoked cigarettes for 1 month when I was 18 because I thought I was like Ben Affleck, stressed out, working my job at the bank. I was like, nah. I smoked cigs for 1 month, and then I was like, these are disgusting, and I stopped. Right when I was 15 or 14 or whatever, and I'm on this trip, or maybe it was eighth grade. It was eighth grade. I come out with a candy cigarette, and Mr. Kubis, he comes over and he snatches the box of candy cigarettes. He's like, "You think these are cool? You think these are cool? You think these are cool?" And I was just like, no, you fucking idiot, Kubis. It's candy. You dweeb. Like, this guy thought he was like changing my life forever. Like, I was going to remember this moment and that was going to be why I didn't smoke cigarettes, because of fucking Kubis. Fucking Kubis. No, Kubis. It's like I spent $4 on these candy cigarettes and he just like, he like snatched it out of my mouth like he was like he's my dad. I was like, excuse me, Kubis? Are you going to give me the $4 back for that? You dweeb? But all right. He's like, you think those are cool, bro? Like, nah, it's candy. It's literal. Like, I was in 8th grade and even I understood it's candy, guy. You know what I mean? Like, if I had it's like under that logic, has anybody ever been in, I don't know, the lunchroom with a straw and you pretend like you're smoking a giblet with the straw? You do stupid things when you're in middle school. He was like, Kubis. He was like coming into his hero moment, was saving me from a pack of candy cigarettes. Meanwhile, the other guy that didn't buy a pack of candy cigarettes is 34 now and smokes a pack a day. But he saved me. All right, Kubis. I was like buying them as a joke. They weren't even good. You think those are cool? No. I don't think you're cool either, Koob. But whatever. That was cool. Meanwhile, Kubis. I hope he watches this. I hope he watches this. He's like, man, sauce really cut into me on that. Kubis. That was his real name. Last name. Like, literally no, Kubis. Anyhow. In other news. Yeah, you're not my dad, Kubis. On Facebook. The guy thought he was saving me. It's like, hey, Koob, maybe the remainder of the year, you should have done something to help me want to be like better myself. I honestly feel like the most significant person in any class that I ever had in my entire life was my high school football coach. My high school football coach was more significant to my learning than any person in any class that I ever took, ever. I remember specific teachers that provided specific things that actually help you to this day. The thing that every single person should get fairly good at is like English, writing, spelling, being able to use words and communicate. That should be like one of the most important classes. I don't care. Even if you don't like know how to write, everybody's got to figure out how to communicate. Writing, communication, voice, it's all the same. So like writing, English, that should be pretty high up on the thing. Math is objectively valuable, but not necessarily so much geometry or calculus, but geometry certainly more so than that. But like algebra, things like that, those things I could see value in. Accounting, yeah. But no, they don't want you to know that. Instead, they got me in chemistry. I got a petri dish with an NaCl sodium. Who gives a shit? And they're gonna like fail me out for that. And like every upside down dweeb that was crushing it in chemistry is doing what now? They joined like Antifa. They're like smashing in windows in DC right now. And they're just like, good thing I learned about parallelograms and fucking and sodium molecules. It's like, teach me something of value, like the type of food to eat, how to exercise my body, how to stay mentally sharp, how to communicate, how to sell, how to understand money, and like, I don't know, how to not be a piece of shit, how to think for myself, you know? But whatever, I can't do that. They're like, learn how to sew, learn how to make an egg. Those classes, actually, I could see some practicality. I remember them being like, eggs, you can't leave a raw egg jizz on the counter because it'll give you salmonella. That I remember. Yeah, thanks for the salmonella. Yeah, calligraphy. Yeah, draw in calligraphy. Yeah, good thing that did. Write in cursive. It's a lost art. Teach me about my credit score, demon. You know what I mean? They're like, you need to know the lost art of cursive. I'm 35. I don't know how to write the letter Z in cursive if I had a gun to my head. If I had a gun to my head and somebody was like, write Z, the letter Z, I'd write it like Billy Madison. Naruto. That's how I would write it. And you know what I've never needed one time in my entire life? To write the word letter Z. Yet then I went to college. What a bag of rice that was. What a joke. In college, we learned about what? What did we learn about in college? I had econ 101 at fucking 6 a.m. or something. And it was like some guy that was 5 foot tall. He was like 5 foot tall and 6.5 feet wide and had these like little tiny spectacles. And he talked like that. And like, you're just like, I'm going to jump off a literal bridge. He'd be like, welcome to Econ 101. And I was like, ah. And interestingly enough, I learned more about economics by reading books by Peter Schiff, by listening to Ron Paul, by studying things like PragerU, and studying Austrian economics on the Intersnerds than I ever learned in this class with this dweeb. And the book for Econ 101 was written by the guy. It was like, welcome to Econ 101. It's 6:01 a.m. on Monday morning. I'm Professor Poindexter. Here's a book that was written by me. And like the book is like 700 words for what could have been said in 22 words. He's like, and then the market goes up and down and left and right. And then if you look at down the market, it's like, what? Just tell me supply and demand. That's it. I could have left right there on the spot. The exam was 643 questions. All I remember is opportunity cost, supply and demand, and that they probably taught us economics wrong. I learned more about the correct form of economics later on my own. They should teach you the basic fundamentals of life, and then you should specialize in the things that you want to specialize. There was a kid in my class in middle school that wanted to be a pipe fitter, steam fitter. When we were fucking 13, he's like, I want to be a pipe fitter, steam fitter. I was like, what the hell? What in the Sam Hill is a pipe fitter? To this day, I don't know what the hell a pipe fitter is. You fit the pipes together? You weld them? I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. I would bet a bushel of clams that this dude is a pipe fitter, steam fitter right now. You telling me this kid needs to learn calculus? This kid needs to learn what? He needs to go to school to career with the lady? He wants to be a pipe fitter, steam fitter. I don't even know what that is. Fit the pipe, put the steam in there, whatever. Like a plumbers make a ton of money. Electricians make a ton of money. You can make a lot of money doing that. You could own an electrician company, like an electrical company. You could own a plumbing company. You could do so many things. You could install boilers, like one of my buddies. He was making bank. But no, they're like, no, parallelograms. Oh, no. It's like when we went to school, they should have been like Schrodinger's box, quantum physics, watch InfoWars. Trust no one. Instead, they're like, war is good for the economy. I remember that. In high school. They were like, war is a boom for the economy. And I was like, war's good. They didn't even explain to us war is human destruction. Like, you would think it'd be inherent that you would just know, but they're just like, nope, war's good for the economy. Because Rosie the Riveter came out and made guns. It's like, they didn't teach us literal Dick Butkus. You know what I mean? The football coach, but whatever. Like, teach me about Schrodinger's cat, you know? Teach me literal quantum physics. Teach me about bosons. Teach me about the Large Hadron Collider. Don't teach me about this garbage. They're like, he's like a spider is in the same family as a butterfly. Arachnids. It's like, what? The guy's like, pipe fitter, steam fitter. He's like, tibia, fibula. The guy's like, pipe fitter, steam fitter. Whatever. My brother said it best one time. He was like, college teaches you how to be an employee. And it sure does. Meanwhile, in other news, in other germs, Teach me about the literal Higgs boson. You know what I mean? Teach me about the God particle. That's what I want to know. Yo, thanks everybody that been by the badges. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you to the official McMoose, Brit C. Wolf, Jenna Rose SP, Kath MT3, Empaths Raise Your Vibe, Shani Loves Vivian Deli, Beth 86, Trish Art Craft, Chaxi 24/7 365, and the personal account of Danielle. Thank you guys so much for the badges on Instagram. Thank you, Thomas, for the super chat on YouTube, and thank you to the people that sent through the Venmos. I really appreciate that so much. Thank you to Shannon. Thank you to Cherie, and thank you to Jamie. Wow, Shannon, thank you so much for the Venmo. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for your generosity. If anybody else saw my video got featured today on James O'Keefe's Instagram because I made a video about what happened over at Twatter, which is hilarious. So if hopefully some people saw that. James is awesome. The work that they're doing over at Project Very Funny is just absolutely phenomenal. For those that do not already know, my stand-up comedy show is next Wednesday, 7 days from now, Naples, Florida. Go to tinyurl.com/chadsauce, CHADSAUCE, Chad Sauce, tinyurl.com/chadsauce, and grab tickets to the show next Wednesday, Naples, Florida, stand-up show with Chad Prather and Conservative Ant. So the last kind of segment of the rant here I wanted to go into was the Lives organization. The Lives. BL. And I'm not talking about Bud Light. M, whatever. I find it so absolutely hilarious and also preposterino that these psychos just extracted $90 million from all of the largest corporations in America, including H&M, Walmart, Target, all these companies, Etsy, tens of millions of dollars. And this garbage person is buying millions of dollars worth of real estate, paying her family members hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do people understand that the tax filing for this past year, 2021, the tax filing shows that she paid her baby daddy over $900,000 for like throwing events, and her brother $800 some odd thousand for security. $800,000. I'm just gonna let me just take a flyer here. I don't know this for sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I bet her brother has never done security in his life. 800 claps in 1 year. I would bet that her baby daddy probably knows nothing about throwing events. 900 clams in 1 year. Private jets. They're flying on private jets. And this demon, this literal demon, grifting demon is like, oh, we were scared about Corona clap. Fuck you. Just going to say it. Go fuck yourself, you psycho. These people are fucking sick in the head. These people are so disgusting and savage, and nobody cares. Demons. $75,000 they paid to charter a flight, and apparently she paid it back. I'm sure that was after she collected $120,000 in consulting fees. Who knows how deep the rabbit hole goes? How do you know, and how could you possibly think that she didn't get some cash kickbacks on those houses that she bought? She's going to be like, hey, I'm going to buy a $8 million house. You want to be my buyer's agent? You're going to make 2.5 points or 2 points on $12 million of real estate that I'm about to buy. You're going to give me 10 points to the big guy, $10 to 10% to Big Patrice for using it. You're telling me these psychos didn't create some backdoor siphon operation to steal more money out of this organization? You're out of your mind. And then they rub it in your face. They got parties there. They got dinners there. She's having her son's birthday party there. Oh, I rented the house. She rented the house for $180. A 6,500 square foot house for 1 day. $180. That's how much she probably spent on the fucking balloons. Oh, yeah. Rent a house for that much. Rent a mansion. A 6,500 square foot house, a multi-million-dollar house. You know what the mortgage payment is a month on a multi-million-dollar house? You're talking like 5, 6K, 7K a month to pay the mortgage. They pay for those houses in cash. If you're talking $7,000 a month divided by 30 days, that's $233 a day for just the mortgage. If she rented the whole house out for one day, that doesn't account the cleanup. That doesn't account for the wear and tear on the house. That doesn't account for anything. $233 just for the mortgage. And that's if the mortgage is $7K a month, which is probably a lot more than that. A mortgage for a house that's $700,000 could be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, could be $5,000 a month. So it's probably more like $10,000, $12,000 a month. You do $12,000 a month divided by 30 days. That's $400 a day, just the mortgage. That's not lawn care, electricity, water, paper towels, toilet paper, anything. Any basic, even the slightest bit of reason would have said that that's a completely outrageous amount of money. These people are psycho, and nobody cares. And then you think about how many people died or were injured, how many police officers, how many public officials, how many public servants, how much damage was done to public grounds and private businesses in terms of glass, in terms of destroyed doorways, robbery, theft, fire, traffic, overtime for police officers, how much money they extracted out of the public for all of the lies and demonic garbage that they perpetrated on the free people of this country. They cost billions of dollars in damages, dozens and dozens of deaths, all types of other crimes from robberies, burglaries, stabbings, shootings, murders, rapes, any variety of other things. But who cares about that? Because Big Patrice is making 6 figs eating bonbons and grapes at her pool at her mansion for creativity. It's for creativity. These people are sick in the head. They bought $30 million worth of stocks. $30 million, $32 million worth of stocks. How do buying stocks help anybody other than shareholders, which according to them are primarily white? It's a scam. And then the biggest lie of it all is the secret tax that's being levied on everyday Americans in the form of inflation. They are lightheartedly extracting the value of your money out of your pocket, increasing the cost of everyday goods and services, things that you need, bankrupting small businesses, making it so that the dollars that you earn don't go as far. You got to spend more for diapers, eggs, meat, milk, food, gas, everything, clothing, every possible imaginable item. Cars are too expensive to buy. Rent is up off the chart. The loans, they're not giving them out as easily. And if they were, now the interest rates are going up. Any money that you save is getting burnt away, If you finally saved up enough cash to buy into the stock market is being massacred. Absolutely the most significant losses of any in the stock market ever. More than 2008, more than 1999. Absolute massacre. Spending money at a rapid clip, printing money out of nowhere, gaslighting the shit out of you so that you're afraid of the people that live on your block. Excuse me. And then lying to you about, I want to unite the country while literally going and dividing it. Ultra MAGA, ultra this, left and right, and everybody is bad. And then you turn on the TV. A controlled funnel of information that's controlled by a very small group of people that are hell-bent on destroying your mind. And they lie to you and gaslight you up and down, left and right all day long. They bring in media pundits from other countries to tell you how shitty America is. They bring in Trevor Noah from South Africa to tell you how bad you are for living in America, how bad America is, while he came here and got rich in the freest country in the world. They bring John Oliver over here, and he gets rich on HBO. gaslighting the shit out of you every day about how bad every single institution in America ever was. How are things in England, John? And if you dare to question it, if you dare to go to a school board, participate, care about your children's education, oh, now you're the bad guy. It's so obvious. We are in this perpetual mass psychosis, this complete and total psyop. Every single thing that you know is backwards from the truth. Everything. All the food, fucked. The healthy food, not healthy. The organizations that are supposedly charities that are out to help other people, they're stealing it. The politicians that are supposed to represent you, they don't. They represent their donors. They're quick to beg you for more money. Privatized gains, socialized losses in the stock market and private businesses. All the awards and the grants that come from all the top tier people like dollar bill fences, like Squishy Bag of Sand Bill. They all go to all the people that fall right in line with the demonic order of all this insane stuff that they want to do. You got Weebles, underground bridge trolls like Fauch, this Weeble, in his position for 30 some odd years. And then the demons interview him on TV and perpetuate his garbage, even though he's been known to lie for decades. Ripe with scandals. Then they want to shop us out to the World Garbage Organization and sign some treaty to give some other non-countryside demon control over us here. Meanwhile, we're sending all of our production outsourced to other countries. Send it to President T-shirt. We're sending all of our equipment, all of our weaponry. Send it to President T-shirt. We're sending Melted Turtle Mitch and old ancient fossil demons over there for some fucking photo op. We spent probably $10 million sending these demons over there so that they could shake hands with T-shirt. Such an honor to meet you. One of the most corrupt people on the earth right now. I don't care what's happening with them. The guy's still corrupt. The organization's still corrupt. The country's done a lot of corrupt things, and we're shipping all of our stuff there. Then they got formula down at the border. And there was an article in Vanity Fair yesterday that was like, Repubs just want infant migrant children to die. You're a demon. And then these other people, these squishy losers, these squishy pink-haired dweebs, these subservient, double diaper-wearing, quadruple-juiced, psycho, fall-in-line NPC, order-taking, loser robot dweebs write articles and go through these garbage organizations and get radicalized and then write articles about how bad we are, and these institutional media outlets that are supposed to be telling us the truth that lie to us in plain sight post lies every single day. And people are like, oh, sick. And you're like taking financial advice from a dweeb that knows nothing about finances. You're taking a crypto advice from a person that knows nothing about crypto. You're taking health advice from a guy that looks like a bag of sand. You're taking advice on how to run your life from the unhealthiest, most mentally insane, demonic people that exist on the planet. And these are the leaders in the law. These are the leaders of the cities and the towns and the states. These are the leaders in DC. These are the people making 250 clams a year, never losing a paycheck, having the best healthcare, getting $1,000, $1,500 Peloton membership on your dime, eating $1,000 bonbon with a $50,000 desk in their office, taking private jets all over the country on your dime, ripping fossil fuels into the sky while literal serpent, demon, Montauk monster, actual bag of bones, sorcerer from Hades, Nancy Pelosi flies over to the crane to give a gold amulet to President T-shirt and tell him how great he is. Well, T-shirt, you're so great. Thanks for putting on a green tee and sneaks for the meeting. This guy has time to do meetings with people. This guy has time to do photo ops with professional news crews, with professional videographers, take 1,000 photos, meet with all these people outside in the open in a theoretical war zone, but he doesn't have time to put a fucking suit on. He doesn't have time to put on a collared shirt, a button up. No, it's all part of the act. They want you to make you think like this guy's like on the front lines when he's just sitting back. This guy's rich. And everyone's like, ah. And then you have dweebs like Crenshaw and all these other rhinos just being like, oh, you don't want to send money to T-shirt? You must be with Putin. It's like, dude, look in your backyard, you psycho. But all right, I guess. We are living in a total psyop like hellscape for nothing. It's like completely and totally not necessary that any of this stuff is what it is. It's like literally preposterous. And it's like they're coming for you. They're coming for your throat at such a rapid clip that the fact that more people don't see it is like mind-boggling. I'm just like, dude, we're living in a literal like hellscape. Like every single thing is so backwards and stupid. It's absolutely bananas. And people are like, Putin. Look at Putin. And now they're talking about what? UFOs? They're like, oh, UFOs, squirrel, dollar bill fences, squishy bag of sand bill is on with Trevor Noah. Oh, cool. Anyways, again, I want to remind you, if you're not already following me on Instagram, please hit this arrow and make sure that you follow me. Thank you to everybody that's been buying the badges on Instagram. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the people with the little hearts next to their name. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that made the donations on Venmo. Thanks to everybody that's been buying merch. I'm going to drop some new merch ASAP. I got some new ideas that I'm going to check out. But I wanted to take a couple questions. If anybody has any questions. Why did Instagram just get blocked as a website that has a virus on my computer here? That's not good. But I wanted to see if anyone had any questions. And I could jump on and take them. Of course, my computer is like, no, you're not allowed to access. You're not allowed to access Instagram.com. It's like, okay. The world is going to shite. Yeah. I mean, it's like life is good. I don't want to sit here and act like everything is bad, like the world is just all garbage all the time and there's no hope left. But I think it would be crazy to say that it's all bad completely, because I do think that there's a lot of good in the world, and I think that life is certainly worth living. And you know, I think life is good. I mean, everything's stupid. They can't get in here, but they certainly want us to be suffering. And the fact that we're still managing to have a good time, I think is important. But yeah, things are getting pretty bad. Somebody said in the questions, are you a demonologist? No. Somebody said, are you following tonight's primaries? I know that the primaries are very important, but I have not looked at them because I've been on the feed here. The one that I really want to see is the Dr. Oz one. I want to see who wins that one. Looks like Dave McCormick is right now leading in the primary in Philadelphia. Or I mean Pennsylvania. Somebody said I'm just a clump of cells. Without corruption, we would be thriving. Can I get a big dolphin into the mic, please?
Dolphin.
Mehmet Oz.
Mehmet.
Somebody said Cawthorn is too. What? Let's see.
Literally no.
Yeah, the rhinos are pretty garbaggio. Garbanet Oz. I don't know. I can't see who won. I can't see who won in the results in.
Literally no. Literally no.
Yeah, Kathy Hochul is just a real unelected psycho. Lancaster County mail-in issues. Yeah, I mean, this is the type of stuff that we're going to deal with. It's just sad.
Without the microphone, I would be nothing. Literally.
I'm looking right now and it says 94% in, and it looks like Madison Cawthorn is not winning. Chuck Edwards.
Chuck.
Literal Chuck.
Literal. Literally no.
Comments are getting spicy.
Literally no. John Kerry. Little John.
Yo, John Kerry's like, I'm the
Ketchup. I am the ketchup sorcerer. I am the ketchup heir.
We need to
reduce fossil fuels. Ketchup. I have a jet that's powered by Heinz ketchup. Oh, literal Heinz. Literally no.
Yeah, so great.
Literal.
Yeah. I'm just like looking at these primary results, primary results, whatever. But none of it means anything. I mean, it kind of means who gets the nominate. It doesn't mean that they'll win in that place, but it certainly is important. But I don't trust anything anymore. Like how many mules were there? You know, if you ask anybody on Clown News, they're like,
there's none. Literal. Literally no.
I just got a pretty good question on Facebook. Somebody said, are there any words of wisdom from your brother to keep in mind as we roam through Hades' backyard? I often try to think what he would say in such a moment. I think what he would probably say is that your instinct is probably right. That if you put in the time to prepare to understand something, a topic, or be good at something, I think that he would say that probably the best tool you have in your arsenal is your instinct, and to trust it, especially if you've put in the time to understand how the world operates. One of my favorite quotes from him was, he said, the things we can see are the least real. I always thought that was a really interesting quote. And essentially what that means is like what you watch on TV, what you see in real life, all of the stuff that feel real, like real, tangible. Those things are the least real. The most real things are the things that you feel, that you experience, that you know inherently, your gut, your intuition. Those are the things that are real. Love, motivation, stuff like that. So I would try to keep that in mind, that all this stuff that we see is the least real stuff there is. The real stuff, the real good stuff is not that. And if we just trust our intuition and do the best that we can to do the best we can in this experience, that's really all we can do. Because I heard a quote from Carlin today, which was something along the lines of like, the world's going to be here, but you know what's not going to be here? Us. He's like, we're out here trying to save the world, save the planet, but like the planet's going to be fine. We are the ones that are going to be gone. So something really interesting to think about. And the other thing is that like life is not promised, right? So what are we doing with the time that we have? Are we making the most of it? Are we advancing in the direction of what we believe will be the most fruitful outcome of our days? Are we dreaming big? I would highly suggest that everybody go listen to, there's this podcast that Tim Grover just did that is absolutely fire. It's called The Diary of a CEO. Write this down. There's a YouTube video and a podcast. It's on Spotify and all around the whatever. It's called The Diary of a CEO that's the name of the podcast, with Tim Grover. The video is named on YouTube The Man Who Coached Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. The Man Who Coached Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant to Win. Tim Grover, episode 143 of the Diary of a CEO podcast. I would highly suggest that everybody take an hour and 24 minutes and listen to that podcast. Absolutely fire. Unbelievable. So good. So I would highly suggest everybody go check that out. Yeah, The Diary of a CEO. Absolutely filthy. So good. All right. Again, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I always enjoy jamming on here with you. Appreciate you taking the time to be here. Thanks to all the people that are on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, you don't follow me, hit this button right here. Make sure you go follow me. Everybody on Facebook, YouTube, make sure you go follow me. Just go to followbobby.com, followbobby.com, and you can follow all my stuff. If you want to support the cause, go to bobbysauce.com. That's all the merch, best merch in the literal game. Taking that one from Flecka's. Thanks to all the people that donated on Venmo. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Shannon, Cherie, and Jamie. Thank you to Thomas on YouTube. And thanks to everybody that bought the badges on Instagram. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, the Megan Hayward and Jen Lees. I see you guys grab some more badges there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks to everybody that bought the shirts. This is the Building 7 Didn't Collapse Itself shirt with the Bobby Sausalito Classic Flex Fit hat, which is on bobbysauce.com. Thank you so much for being here. I saw Lana ask if the stand-up will be recorded. No, I do not believe that it will be recorded. I haven't asked, and I didn't make a plan to do that. I'll think about it, but as of right now, it will not be recorded to just make the most of the time that people are there. So maybe I'll record it. Maybe I won't. I really don't know. But as of right now, it's not. So if you want to be there next Wednesday, Naples, Florida, Off the Hook Comedy Club, be there or be square. The world is trash. Thank you so much on YouTube and Facebook. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow.